Last time when I was here, I was wondering when I was going to get involved with something new. And nothing really is new under the sun. I stole that. Somebody said it thousands of years ago. But what is coming up today is this issue that was around when I was a boy: racism. Why are we still fighting wars on racism in 2020? Well, ego. Ego is the only reason we're still having racist things going on in our communities. Ego. What is racism and what is ego? Racism, pretty much everybody knows what it is. It's basically when you treat people differently because of their ethnic origin, or more commonly known as the color of your skin. Ego is more difficult to get a really good handle on because it's not the same word and it's used in similar social sciences. Some people say ego is a good, strong sense of self. And you need to have a good sense of self. You need to know who you are so you can draw boundaries around you to keep yourself from being trampled by a bunch of people who have no respect for you. In that sense, ego is a good thing for you. But ego in a spiritual sense is a personality that has got a lot of character flaws. Character flaws are those things that are of low vibration, I guess we'll go with that. Okay, so what's happening today is pure ego. Certain egoic personalities, those are personalities that have character defects. And how does this express? Well, one of these people who have character defects is a realist. They live in this real world. If you talk to them, they would explain to you the way the world really is. And then they will jump to the next thing, which is why I got to get there first and get my share. And then put something aside for the rest of my family. Because you never know when it's going to be taken away. And there you have the agenda of this particular person. Their agenda is me first. If you're into the Law of One teachings, this is a service to self person. Me and people that are mine first. Service to self. Is it a character flaw? Well, most people don't think so. Most people say it is a dog-eat-dog world. And you better go really hard, dog, and get fed. And you got to muscle somebody out of the way. You better be working out in big and imposing so other people are going to cower when you come by. Because you need to eat. Yeah, the rest of them need to eat, but you're not the rest of them. You're you. And use whatever tricks you can come up with so that you get your share. How big is your share if you're Jeff Bezos? Well, if you haven't heard of Jeff Bezos, then I don't know why you're watching YouTube. Jeff Bezos is the supposed owner of Amazon.com, a billionaire many times over. Supposedly, he thought up the idea of Amazon in his garage, and he programmed the early versions of it, and it just took off. It was a great idea. That is the story they tell you. The truth of the matter is, he didn't do any of that stuff. He's an actor playing the part of Jeff Bezos, and even the life story of Jeff Bezos is that that's not his original name. Why would you change your name if you're, whatever your name is, Milton Merle, to Jeff Bezos? It's a strange name, Bezos. Zos. What's a Zos? Is it a those? Or B-Zeros? I don't know. It's got a weird name. Why would you make that? Anyway, the whole point of the matter is Jeff Bezos is not who you think it is. It's never going to be easy to tell you, even if it's a computer-generated character or a human being, because you're never going to see the real Jeff Bezos in the flesh. So, I keep telling my old man, he's 85, I keep telling him when he's watching Lester Holt in the NBC News, I said, Dad, he's not a video gamer. And we haven't seen video games in my dad's house since, I was 12 or something. So he's never seen, well, actually, I've sent him some of these things, but he seems to forget. But, just really good quality CGI graphics. And, I'm sure he's seen some of these movies with the CGI in it, but he can't break whatever barrier he has. Because I keep saying, you know how easy it is to manufacture news that looks real and put it on Lester Holt at 6:30? He doesn't believe it's going to happen. That they're going to cook up some story and use CGI. Even though every day they put, a picture of COVID-19 up and it's like a ball with a bunch of little, stick ends on the end. That's not what a virus looks like. That's not what a virus looks like. At all. It's not a perfectly round thing. It's not. But they keep putting it up there, and that's the example of, primitive graphics. But advanced graphics, it's a never-ending story about all of this stuff. And the simple point I want to put to my father is, you cannot trust Lester Holt. And he says, well, he's a perfectly good newscaster. What's wrong with him? And I say, he's working for a Rockefeller. Who's Rockefeller? He knows who Rockefeller is. Standard Oil, the huge oil company, they're bazillionaires. But anyway, Lester Holt shows that his show comes and it's filmed at Rockefeller Plaza. I mean, you couldn't be more eyes wide open, eyes wide shut. Seriously, it says Rockefeller Plaza. I keep pointing it up. It's Rockefeller News. He still watches it. He still goes that it's telling him the truth. So the news again today is based upon racism. And the story today is affirmative action. Affirmative action means that I'm being discriminated against, obviously because of my color, the color of my skin. And, this racism based upon the color of my skin, or maybe my name, maybe I've got a name that sounds foreign. But they're discriminating against me. So we're going to have to keep ourselves from getting in lots of trouble talking about these kind of racist things. But the short answer is, if you are able to figure out a way to play your race card so that you get the high-paying tenured job at the university, you're a service to self kind of person. Me first. I'm going to get my juicy job at the university by creating an affirmative action plan for people of my skin color. This is blatant racism. And the university is going along with it. And it's funded by the taxpayers' government. We don't want to belabor the point. But the famous person who talked about race when it was an unbelievably horrible issue in the United States, his name was Martin. And Martin said to everybody, I have a dream, And it's a dream when we judge people. He didn't say we don't judge people. He says we judge people based upon the quality of their character. In other words, how good is your personality? Are you an egoic service to self person? Are you about community? Being a part of the community, and the community does well as I do well. And that is how we wonder in 2020 why we have affirmative action programs. In 2020, if you think you're going to go to a university and during your interview you say something, and then you say later on, I didn't say that quite that way, I'm being misquoted, but at the end result is that you've muddied the whole idea that you ever had a job interview. And then what happens later on is, I didn't get the job. And I got to figure out some way that I can use this not getting a job to get something for me. It's always going to be less my chances, because once I blew the first interview, I can never go back there again. So I don't have a fair chance anymore because I didn't get hired the first time, and now I'm stale. So I'm going to have to cheat. And I'm going to be very smart about my cheating, that no one's even going to consider that what I'm doing is cheating. I'm just going to create a little club of people from, wherever I'm from. People who look like me, speak like me, think like me, fuck like me, eat like me. And we're going to have our little club. And at our club, we're going to figure out some way that we can get the gravy train. We're going to get cash for nothing. So we're going to become a lobby group, and we're going to keep looking to see what kind of programs the politicians have instituted where I can get money while I'm grinding my axe. Because sooner or later, I'm going to hit a vein, and I'm going to be a vampire and suck every last drop of blood out of the old government. This is service to self, and this is how it happens. These things are happening today. Groups of people are trying to figure out in cunning ways how to get a lot of money for doing nothing but being a common criminal. And a lot of people are brainwashed when they hear the words systemic racism. And then one of these people who will come and judge you will be one of these systemically racist put-down person. And that will be the judge and the jury and the executioner. So there is no truth in systemic racism other than the fact that racists are real and racists are racists. And it's not necessarily the system, it's the racist inside the system that keeps defending definitely systemic issues with justice. And the justice issue is something that I'm going to continue to talk about in my next talk. Please subscribe and share. And, if I sound a little bit angry, it is because I'm a little bit angry. This world is going to hell in a handcart, is what they used to say in like the 1920s. So maybe it's a steal.